I once had a friend called Lionel, who I'd known for years, you know. Bit of a silly old bugger, really, you know. But anyway, we were mates and stuff. A couple of years ago, Lionel called me over and I went to see him, you see. And he sat me down and he said, Hugo, he said, I've been diagnosed with cancer, you see. And I thought this was very bad, you know. It is. And he said to me, he said, the doctors, he said, they'd given me a pathway and a treatment thing, which involved chemotherapy and radiotherapy and so on. And I said, that sounds good. He said, no, it's not good. He said, no. He said, these doctor experts, you know, they know nothing about anything. They don't know anything about anything, these experts. They're rubbish. He said, these doctors, you see, all they do is give you medicine. And the more medicine they give you, the more money they make, you see. And all they're going to do is going to get me into hospital where I shall die a miserable, lingering death. And then he grabbed me by the lapels, you see, and shook me. He said, Hugo, where can I find the truth? Anyway, so I sent him to see the editor of the Daily Express, you see. And apparently he went in to see this fellow, you know. And the editor sat him down. He said, Lionel, he said, look, it's not your fault, mate. It's not your fault. You're not to blame. The people who are responsible for this mess are the immigrants. And that made Lionel feel much better, you see. So he went home, you know, where in the coming months he died a long, lingering, agonizing death. But at least he had on a daily basis the Express that made him feel much better, you see. Indeed, when they found his body that was contorted in a sort of a monument to the agony of his death throes, at least they found him clutching in his right hand a rolled up copy of the Daily Express. I had a friend called Graham who lived locally to me, you know. Anyway, a couple of years ago he came in to me, he said, Hugo, I've got a great wheeze, he said. He said, I'm going to move house, you see. I spotted a really good house, absolute bargain, he said. It's beautiful, wonderful, you know, and it's almost got a sea view. I said, is it on the coast? He said, no, it's next to a river. I said, right, okay. Which river? He said, the Ouse, you see. And I said, well, you'd be a bit careful, really, Graham, because, you know, the Ouse is liable to flood on occasions, you see. He said, no, that's no problem. I said, well, have you been able to get house insurance for your new house? He said, oh, no, nobody will insure my house. He said, no. I said, why is that? He said, well, because of flooding. And I said, well, doesn't that show you that actually you bought a house that's going to flood? And he said, and I quote, no, Boris would never allow that, you see. Because Boris is going to invest millions and millions of pounds in flood defences, you see, to protect me. They wouldn't let that happen to me. Not Boris, not the good old government. They're really good looking after us, you see. I haven't heard from him for a while, you know. Apparently he was last seen entering the Humber estuary, clinging to his sideboard. The other day I went to see my friend Nobby. Nobby Nibbler. Not his real name. Anyway, as befits us, you know, British gentlemen, he offered me a cup of tea, you see. And he brought it over, you know, and it was milky and whatnot, you know, as is our wont. And it tasted like absolute dishwater. It was horrible. I said, what is this? He said, well, it's, it's Earl Grey. I said, is it? He said, oh, maybe it's Lady Grey. I said, is it? He said, oh no, maybe it's non-gender specific grey, gluten-free vegan tea. That's all the rage in Waitrose. And I said, well, whatever it is, it tastes like dishwater. And I said, I expect to come here and have a proper cup of tea, as you know, as defines the British way of life, because that defines who we are. Even though the Irish drink more tea than we do per capita. But never let the truth get in the way of a good national stereotype. Anyway, I said to him, this is bloody rubbish, it's awful. I said, you need to invest in proper tea. The next thing I heard, he'd been down to auction and bought a derelict public toilet in Bognor Regis. The man's a complete idiot. And to cap it all, he thinks he's going to meet Dion Dublin.